Anyway, as I was saying, people, it was just hard when I left that job because I had to step out in faith. Because one thing about it, when you pray, God will make a way. You may not understand the way. You may not even understand why you're being forced to wait. But let's put it this way. When you start reading scripture, you start realizing what he says and what he says in his word. All things work together for the good of those that love God, that are called according to his purpose. His promises that are in there. Wait. He even told Peter to wait. Wait until you be endowed with power from on high. Wait. You see, a lot of times we love God, but we just want to rush him. We want to now. It's like J.G. Wentworth, the commercial you see. It's my money and I want it now. It's my promise and I want it now. It's my blessing and I want it now. And sometimes we'll make the biggest mistakes of our lives trying to rush God. You see, a lot of people read the story of the children of Israel. 40 years in the wilderness. They're like, it should have took 40 days. If it should have took 40 days, it would have took 40 days. It took 40 years because it was meant to take 40 years. He had to do some things. He had to weed out the real from the fake. And guess what? He got to do the same thing in our lives. The real and the fake inside us. People don't want to look at things from that perspective. They think they know. If I was in the wilderness, I would have, okay, you wasn't there, but you're in the wilderness now. What is God asking you to wait on? That you know that he has put in your heart that he wants you to do, but it just ain't happened yet. What dreams has he put in your heart? What desires has he put in your heart? You got to think about it. He said, I would give you the desires of your heart. So there are certain desires that he put in, but there are also desires of our own heart that are not lining up with his words. You see, Cain felt he was ready. Felt that he was worthy. Remember, everything I've been talking about, it's God who justifies. We'll look in the mirror, we'll look at ourselves, be like, I know I'm ready. And God's like, no, you ain't. You're not ready. I'll let you know when you're ready. And then you get mad and you get impatient. Lord, what? Come on, Lord. I know I'm ready. And sometimes he'll even put you in a position to show you ain't. Let's go back to the story with the guy that got promoted over me. I told him, I said, are you ready? He said, yeah, I'm ready. I've been a manager before. I've been in management before. Long story short, after I left the job, I found out all kind of hell broke loose. All kind of hell broke loose. He lost the job, messed up the warehouse, got caught in places he wasn't supposed to be caught at with the company truck. The manager that told me I was a piece of trash and that I wouldn't be good in the moving industry was fired. And he had a company truck that they couldn't even find no more. If I would have listened to what they were saying and the opposition that was facing me, I probably would have been like, man, I'm finna join a new profession. Forget that. But I didn't. I trusted in the Lord. And you reap what you sow. But it was their time. It was his time to be manager, the main boss, and it was his time to be warehouse manager. But what you do with those chances and those opportunities is all on you. Sometimes people get the big head. Been there, done that. Head bigger than all I know. I already got a big forehead to start with. That's why I wear a hat. No, that ain't why I wear a hat. I just always like hats. And I was like, golly, man. And it's like a part of you like, you want to say, I told you so. And I remember when I finally, probably about 3 years ago, I finally started moving up in the company I'm at right now, that company called me back because I voiced a complaint with the manager about the things that were going on. But they didn't call me back right away. One thing I realized about a lot of people, they don't want to be like, you were right. Pride. They don't want to be like, you know what? I should have listened. But they called me back. They be like, yeah, you worked for us years ago. We got a warehouse manager position open. You can come back and work for us and be the warehouse manager. Well, around this time frame, I had moved up the chain. I was the warehouse manager where I'm at now. And I thought to myself, like, why leave? I'm going to stay where I'm at. I'm not going nowhere. Job opportunities come, offering more money. And it's like, God, pray to God. They be like, stay where you at. He made me think back. You remember when you took this job, you took a demotion. You took less money. So don't let money be the thing that drive you. Pay attention to everything that I'm doing in this area. Pay attention, see the goodness of me. And I'm still here. Does that mean I'm gonna be here next year? I don't know. But when you pray, God makes a way. And when he give you advice, take it. He gave Kane great advice. Hey, Kane, why are you rough? Why are you mad? Hey, man, if you keep doing what you're doing and stay at it, I got you. Because when he said your works will be accepted, I mean, I got you in due time. I'm going to, what's the word? I'm going to have respect to your offering in due time. But he was mad, saw his brother, envy, hatred, all that stuff. The devil didn't make him do it. That was stuff from his heart. God was like, I know your heart. I know your desire to please me. But you trying to rush caused you to kill your brother. I guess you thought you was going to move up now. And a lot of times we do that in jobs and professions, and we try to down another to get lifted. We may not murder them. We'll murder their character. We'll spread lies and deceit about them just to get a promotion. Stab each other in the back. But we ain't got to. All we got to do is wait. Because they got their chance. Let them have their chance. Let them get their raise. They might need it faster. They might need it now. Now, if you look at the big picture, God also knew that Cain was going to slay Abel. So it even make more sense why he had respect to his gift. He was already ready to be offered up. His time was near. And he was good according to God because he respected his offering. So if he respected his offering, and then shortly after that he died being justified by God, no harm, no foul, on Abel's case. Does it make sense? Sometimes some people get blessed before us because the time may be short, or it's just their time now. You see, we got to look at things from God's perspective and not ours. We can get so many stories. Why do you think a preacher can pick up the Bible and spread the same word I just spread and spread a different message? Why do you think that happens? And it happens all the time. So many different preachers preaching different things about the same message because God works on us differently. And his word is so powerful. It ain't too many stories or books I done read when you can pick it up and give an example about life through it. That's called the goodness of God and his word. He put things on your heart because there are things going on around you and people, even with your journey. On your journey, only you gonna see the people you see every day. And then when I leave my house, only I'm gonna see the people I see that day. I got a route, you got a route. Everybody got a route to go. But the thing is, with Jesus, all routes gonna go to the same place. Without Jesus, our route's gonna go to the same place too if you don't listen to him. You see, you gotta think about that. I mean, they had a personal relationship with God. Cain decided to go against God's commandments, God's advice. God gives us all advice all the time. It's like we choose to do what God says, and we choose to do it our way. Like I said about prayer. Lord Jesus, will you please touch my son and teach him how to respect me? And then, as soon as you pray that prayer, you're going to respect me. I'm your daddy. The Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father, so your days will be long upon this earth. You need to honor me. That's how we are as Christians. Why in the world did you call on the Lord just to go chew somebody out? You didn't give God no time. You just went straight there. Let God fix it. You sit back, think about it. Why are you calling on God? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Why are you calling on God? Because it's most likely a problem, an issue that you can't do nothing about. So why, after we figure out, we like, I need to pray about this. I've been trying to fix this problem. I'm trying to get my son on the straight and narrow path for so long, and I'm finna call on God. And then right after we call on God, we go attack our sons or our daughters or whatever the issue is in our life. Our finances. We go to a loan shark, getting more credit debt. I can relate. But sometimes we get impatient. And the thing is, the Bible is not telling us these stories to tell you, as a Christian, you're not going to be impatient. The Bible ain't right, be slow to anger, because you're never going to get angry. And sin not, He wrote that because he knew he was going to get angry and sin. So when you go to the word, you're like, okay, Lord, you told me I can get angry, but I can't sin. So let me wash my... One of the biggest sins we make when we get angry is we open our mouths. And we say things that we should not. It's like praying on your knees in a marriage. And you're like, Lord, please just bring peace in this house between me and my wife. Bring so much peace, Lord, that then right after you get off your knees, you start cussing them out or start going off on them. And then you like, then if you think about it, that wasn't God, because you just took matters in your own hands, didn't even give God a chance to work. Now you're arguing and fighting. You're trying to bring the change, just like Cain tried to bring the change. I guess if I get rid of my competition, God will see me. The Bible says vengeance belongs to the Lord. He said, I raise one up and put down another. He does that. But all those concepts and thoughts seem to go straight out of our head a lot of times. You heard I say our heads, because I've been there. I tell people, when I first became a Christian, boy, I was one of the meanest Christians you ever seen. Look at me now. Look at you. You are beneath me. Not knowing during that time frame, I was going to start losing a house. I was going to lose a car. I was going to go through a divorce. I was going to have to stay with my brothers. I was going to have to stay with my sister. I was going to have to stay in the hotels. This after I gave my life to God. I went through all kind of hell and high water. And people wonder why you going through hell and high water when you love God, because you're going to see if you're going to live by that word. It's easy when you got the house and the car and enough money to buy so much food with. It's easy to praise God like that. It's easy to seek God like that. But it's easy to fall into pride too. Like you did it by your own hands. That's easy too. But when you're going through something and God's still there, how can you pray to the Lord, Lord, keep me from fornication, and not expect somebody to try to come and sleep with you? How you gonna know if you can bypass fornication? Unless you've been tempted by it. Unless you pass the test. To whom much is given, much is required. But we'll take all those words that the Lord tells us and just throw them out the window. Because we are selfish creatures. When is my time? Me. When am I? Like I said, if you can't see somebody else getting blessed, if you can't see somebody on your job get promoted and be like, man, I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad for you. Instead of saying that, and in your mind, you like, you piece of trash. I supposed to have that job. You see, think about it. God knows your heart. Your mouth might say one thing, but your heart might be thinking a totally different thing, and God knows it. You want to get to a point in life where you're happy for others. Don't just look out for the welfare of yourself, but the welfare of others. So God told me when I was getting rough with the new guy that I trained, when I was getting rough with him, getting kind of upset with him, and it wasn't him who promoted himself. It was management. Why would I get mad at him? And God had to humble me about that, but then he moved me from there. Because I figured God was like, well, you learn as much as you should, but I got to go through a backstory right quick. About 2 years before that, I started working at this company I'm at now. And I remember I was working there, and there was another guy got hired with me. And we worked there, and I went on the road with my boss, who I work for now. And we was on the road for a while, had some good times. I turned 35, I think, or something like that. In Atlantic City, New Jersey, had a good time, had a great time. You understand? And I came back. I remember I came back, and he was like, I'm going to take you back on the road with me next time. And he never showed. I was like, what in the world? But I remember talking to my boss while we was on the road. He was like, I never would stop somebody from doing better. If you get a chance to find something better, go for it. So I remember around this time period, they set me down. I mean, I didn't go on the road with him. And what happened was, I was like, man, I gotta work. You know what I'm saying? So I looked on my phone and I saw a job opening for a driver for a moving company. Keep in mind, I only been moving for about a month and a half, 2 months at the most, probably 3 months, maybe. And I'm like, I'm gonna go sign up for this job. So I call, I put in an interview, and then I get a phone call. I remember the manager said, can you come here for an interview at 6 p.m.? I'm like, 6 p.m.? So I came up there, I got away up there, and he was like, you can start tomorrow. So this is, like I said, I knew a little bit about moving, but not a lot. And I started working for that company. And I stayed at that company for 2 years, but I remember something. I called my boss right after I got the job. I said, hey, I filled out an application at another moving company. He said, they said they want me to start tomorrow. He said, go. He said, learn all you can. I remember that. He said, learn as much as you can. So when I learned as much as I can, 2 years later, I came back to the company I'm at right now knowing more than I knew back then. And it benefited me. Yeah, through some trials and tribulations to get there, but it benefited me in the long run. Sometimes you may not understand why things are going the way they're going. You may not understand why God's telling you to wait. God talks to so many people. Like, I just think about it. God was probably talking to my boss at the time, learn. Maybe he was telling Kane, grow some more. Figure out how I really work. But he was impatient. So people today, I'm telling you, wait on the Lord. Don't get in a hurry, because getting in a hurry will cause you to do something you shouldn't do. You know, I like making music. Sometimes God will have me on a music craze. Then he'll tell me to step back, don't do nothing. People be like, man, you need to put your music on YouTube. You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. I'll be like, that's not what the voice in my head is telling me to do. He's telling me to wait. And I'm going to keep waiting until God gives me confirmation. Maybe some things that he want to work out of my life, some kinks he want to work out of my life, and maybe some kinks he want to work out of yours. What are you going to do? Are you going to get mad and murder your career, murder your blessing before it even happens? If you haven't given your life over to Jesus Christ, I advise you to do so, people. Wait on the Lord. Listen to what he's telling you while you wait. You get a little stronger. You heard that song? This is what happens when you wait. You get a little stronger, get a little wiser. But we live in a generation, live fast, die young. Like I said, we want it now. You may not be ready for it now, but you will be ready for it when God said you are. Just like he told Cain. And while you wait, sin gonna be at the door. What are you gonna do? Have a blessed day.